We are used to thinking of Omar Khayyam simply as a poet who wrote about wine and philosophy, but in reality, he was the first great analyst of human anxiety. He described that feeling when life doesn't go as planned, over 1,000 years ago. His Rubaiyat are not just poems, they are instructions for understanding internal chaos. Today, we will look at his words through the prism of our modern pace of life. Here is a verse that perfectly describes the state. When you do everything right, yet still feel like a victim. Khayyam writes, "O heaven, you break my heart with sorrow." This, heaven, for us today, is the system. It is bureaucracy. It is the constant pressure of deadlines. It is that force which seems to always work against you, regardless of your efforts. We often feel that our anxiety has no specific cause, but it arises precisely from this external pressure. Think about your greatest financial fear. Right now, most often, it is not the absence of money, but the weight of obligations, a mortgage, a car loan, or smaller debts. Khayyam's heartbreaking description perfectly captures the feeling. When the time comes for a monthly payment, it feels as if you aren't working for yourself, but for the bank. This burden does not allow you to breathe freely. It is a constant background sorrow that is impossible to ignore or drown out. Khayyam wasn't just complaining, he was diagnosing the loss of control over one's own life. We believe that if we work hard enough, we will achieve peace. However, as statistics show, the higher our salary becomes, the higher our expenses and obligations rise. We are running in a wheel that keeps getting faster. This feeling is what we call modern sorrow. This is the key idea we must understand when analyzing this Rubai. The poet continues, "You strip the shirt of joy from my shoulders." This metaphor is incredibly strong and precise. Joy is something soft, warm, close to the body, something that protects you from the world. But when external pressure becomes too great, even these simple things vanish. We stop noticing the beauty of the moment, because we are constantly checking our bank balance. What is the stripped shirt of joy in our modern world? It is the refusal of small pleasures, because you feel you must deposit more. It is the constant calculation of whether your salary will last until the next payday, even if your income is above average. It is a state where the money seems to be there, but you are afraid to spend it on yourself, because tomorrow something unpredictable might happen. Our economy is built on this fear of loss. Because of financial anxiety, we stop enjoying what is free, a walk in the park or a quiet dinner. All our thoughts are occupied by planning large, complex financial goals. We postpone life for later, until the loan is paid off, or the right amount is saved. Khayyam shows us that joy is not destroyed by catastrophes, but by constant, minor exhaustion. And you? When was the last time you stayed awake because of money? Thinking about an upcoming payment? This restlessness is the very sorrow the poet writes about. Our consciousness turns into a financial calculator, operating 24/7. We lose the capacity for spontaneity, because every step must be calculated. This steals from us our sense of security and inner comfort. This external pressure also stems from work, our primary source of income. We feel like hostages to a position because it guarantees the next tranche of salary, which covers the debt. Even successful people often live with a constant fear of being fired. This fear destroys not only our financial future, but our present. But Khayyam does not leave us in this state of chaos. He merely records it as a starting point. To find relief, we must acknowledge that external circumstances are often beyond our control. The true way out is a change in our internal attitude toward the inevitable pressure. We must learn to protect our shirt of joy, regardless of the numbers on our bank account. We move to the next, more metaphysical part of the Rubai. The breeze I breathe, you fill with flames. Khayyam speaks of how even the basic processes of life become painful. In a modern context, the breeze is what should be light and natural. Rest, food, or talking with family. But because of stress, all of this becomes tense and draining. This is a perfect metaphor for professional burnout. When your internal resource is completely depleted, you go on vacation, but you cannot relax because you are thinking about work chats. Your breath, your very existence, is permeated by flames, constant tension, and emotional overload. We have grown used to this fire, but we don't notice how it is slowly burning us out. Many of us feel guilt when we simply rest without doing something productive. This culture of constant busyness has turned ordinary rest into a difficult task. Even while sleeping, we may feel anxiety, as if the time spent recharging is a waste. Khayyam warns us that when even breathing becomes a flame, you are on the edge of collapse. We grow accustomed to high levels of stress, accepting it as the norm. We no longer notice that we are breathing flames until a serious burnout or illness occurs. To change the situation, we must realize how far we have drifted from a natural calm state. This is the first step toward regaining control. Returning the breeze is a conscious detoxification from information noise and financial pressure. It is not about a total refusal of responsibility, but about setting healthy boundaries. We must protect our time and our space from the constant demands of the system. Only then can we feel again that breath is a source of life and not of pain. The most tragic part of the Rubaiyat sounds like this: "And the water I drink, you turn into ashes." This signifies a total disappointment in the results of one's labor. Water is life. It represents the effort we put in every day to support ourselves and our families. If even that which should nourish turns to ash, then our actions lose their meaning. We often seek peace in new purchases, career achievements, or bank statements. But sometimes, to find true balance, you need to look not into the future, but into the past, into words that have endured for a millennium. The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam is not just a collection of poetry. It is a mirror for your soul. It is a book that knows your anxiety, your fear of the unknown, and your longing for simple, sincere joy. By holding this edition in your hands, you gain a tool for self-reflection. Every quatrain is a key to understanding your own emotions. Aesthetic delight, poetry that teaches you to see beauty in every sip of water and every breath of wind. A source of strength, a philosophy that helps you build an internal fortress against the chaos of the modern world. Do not postpone life for later. Reclaim your shirt of joy today. This book will become your quiet companion on the darkest evenings and a wise counselor in moments of doubt. The link to the book, The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, is below the video. This feeling is familiar to those who work hard, but never see true financial progress. You receive your salary, but it immediately goes toward old debts and utilities. It is running in place. The effort was colossal, but the net result is zero, or even negative. This is psychologically exhausting, and it destroys motivation. We often think that if we constantly set money aside, the ash will turn into gold. But Khayyam shows that external fate can devalue even the best intentions. Inflation, economic crises, or sudden illness can quickly turn your savings into ashes. We do not control global forces, and this must be accepted. True relief comes when we stop fighting heaven by its own rules. If the effort turns to ash, perhaps it is worth changing the effort itself. Not increasing the volume of work, but simplifying the structure of your life and your financial needs. The universe supports simple intentions, not complex struggles. Khayyam forces us to ask, has it ever happened that the money appeared, but the peace did not? If the answer is yes, then the problem is not just the amount in your account. The real enemy is the internal fear that continues to turn your water into ash, even when external conditions are favorable. We must work on this internal attitude. What should we do with this ash and flame? Khayyam offers a paradoxical way out, except that heaven will always play by its own rules. Your heart may be broken by sorrow, your joy may be stripped away, but these are external phenomena. Acceptance reduces internal resistance, and as a result, lowers the level of anxiety. The main power of the Rubaiyat lies in shifting the focus from external struggle to internal protection. If you cannot control the size of the next loan or the probability of being fired, control your reaction. This is a classic Stoic principle, beautifully wrapped in Eastern poetry. Stop waiting for the system to grant you peace, and start creating it yourself. Practically, this means creating a financial cushion, not for investment, but for psychological safety. It is that minimum which allows you not to breathe flames at the slightest threat. It is about consciously lowering the level of demands on yourself, so as not to turn a sip of water into ash. Protect your joy as a priority. The simpler your needs, and the less you are involved in complex financial games, the fewer tools heaven has to harm you. Khayyam does not call for a withdrawal from life. He calls for simplification. Simplicity is the best armor against the sorrow caused by the constant pursuit of status. It is a path from chaos to conscious clarity. The strength of the Rubaiyat is not that they give ready-made answers, but that they accurately describe your internal state. It is like a searchlight, illuminating the source of anxiety. If you understand that your heart is breaking and you are breathing flames, you can begin to act. It is no longer just a poem. It is a powerful diagnostic metaphor. Do not let the external world strip you of your shirt of joy. Even if heaven brings sorrow within us, there must remain a space for peace. Use this philosophy to protect your internal breeze from the flames. Thank you for your attention, and remember, true freedom begins with simplicity. Share in the comments. What is the greatest ash in your life today?